Hi everyone, welcome to Art of Learning Botany channel. I am Dr. Bijaya Kumar Mishra, retired Associate Professor of Botany from Government of Odisha, Department of Higher Education. Today we'll discuss about the Megasporangium, the ovule, the megaspore and its formation, and the embryo sac or the female gametophyte. And as usual, we'll discuss the questions at the end of the session, the video session. Okay, now let us see. So what we have the under the reproduction of the flower, sexual reproduction of the flowering plants, these are the topics. So what is a megasporangium? Megasporangium is the structure which encloses the megaspore, you can say, or where the megaspore is formed. And in angiosperms it is equivalent to the ovule. And the ovules are present inside the ovary, and they are attached to the ovary by a small stalk called the placenta. So the placenta are present at different places of the ovariole or at the axis, and accordingly the arrangement of the placenta is called placentation. Since the placenta bear the ovule, then the arrangement of the placenta is same as that of the arrangement of the ovule. So we find the ovule are either attached to the wall of the ovary or to the central axis of the ovary or to the base of the ovary or to the margin of the ovary. Now we'll see this in the slide. We'll see in the slide. This is, you see. Now here you'll find this is the ovary. The ovules are arranged towards the margin. Here at the center. Here at the center of the ovary, right? So in the next slide you see, now you see here, this is the cross section of the fruit. Here you find the ovules, because the ovary develops to the fruit after it matures or second fertilization occurs, and the ovules develop to seed. So you'll find this is how they are arranged at the axil of the ovary, axis of the ovary. Now here you find the pod. Here the ovules are arranged at the margin of the fruit. Here again at the axil, because it is chambered ovary. Here it is a unilocular ovary. Here it is arranged at the base of the ovary. Now here it is unilocular ovary at the axis as well at the margins. So this is the type of arrangement of ovules inside the ovary, that is megasporangium arrangement. Then what is the structure of the megasporangium? Now the megasporangium is a massive structure, and it has different parts. We'll discuss this. Now let us see in the zoom we will find the structure and details. Now let us, yes, very good. Now you say this is the ovule. The ovule is attached to the placenta through a stalk called the funiculus. Now the funiculus is attached to the, so this is funiculus is attached to the ovule at the point called hilum. This is the hilum point. Now the funiculus runs over the ovule for certain distance, some plants or some seeds you can find. So that is called the raphe. That is called the raphe. Now the ovule is covered. It has the internal part of the ovule is covered by the integument of the ovule. Okay, this is called integumented megasporangium, you can say. So this is the integument, and here the integument is bitegmic, means there are two vascular strands applied to this. In angiosperm it is bitegmic. I remind you that it is bitegmic, whereas in gymnosperm it is unitegmic. Here it is bilayer. There are two layers of cover, that is integuments, and the integument does not cover the ovule totally. There is a small gap at the anterior end, and that is called the micropyle. Opposite end of the micropyle is called chalaza. It is called chalazal end or the basal end, and the anterior end is called the upper end is called the micropylar end. Now inside the integuments or inside the ovule, you will find the nucellus. A tissue, diploid tissue, this porophite tissue is called the nucellus. And from the nucellus, you will find the megaspore develops, and this megaspore gives rise to megametophyte or the female gametophyte inside the nucellus. Right? So how the megaspore develops? Now we'll discuss how the megaspore develops. Before that, let us see again how many types of ovules are present. So in the angiospermic world, you'll find there are 6 types of ovules. The first one is called the orthotropous ovule, where the funiculus at the base or the chalazal end and it's upright ovule. The micropyle faces sky, you can say this is upright, straight line. They are in straight line. So this is orthotropous ovule or atropous ovule. This is very common in gymnosperms. And this is anatropous ovule. So here you'll find it has taken 180-degree turn. The orthotropous has taken 180-degree turn and the face is downwards, very close to the funiculus, that is micropyle. And this is very common or typical ovule of angiosperms. Now this one is 90-degree turn from the orthotropous ovule. It is called hemianatropous ovule. Now this is called compylotropous ovule, this one. Because here there is no direct symmetry between the micropyle and the chalaza. It's very curved and you'll find the micropyle comes toward the funiculus. Now this is called the amphistropous ovule, where you find the nucellus is horseshoe shaped and the micropyle is very close to the funiculus. And this is called sarcinotropous, where it has taken the orthotropous ovule has taken 360-degree turn. First is orthotropous, then becomes anatropous, then again it becomes orthotropous. So this is orthotropous, comes down 180-degree anatropous, then again becomes orthotropous. So it totally 360-degree turn. So there are 6 types of ovule, but in angiosperms common or typical ovule is anatropous and gymnosperm it is orthotropous. Now we'll discuss how the megaspore is formed. Now the megaspore develops from the nucellus. The nucellus is the tissue from where the megaspore will come out. So these cells, one cell of the nucellus enlarges, its nucleus becomes prominent, it develops some vacuoles and it enlarges and is called the archisporial cell. It directly functions as the megaspore mother cell. You see this one, this is nucellus tissue and this is the megaspore mother, because enlarged, that archisporial cell enlarges to and function as the megaspore mother cell, which is the megasporocyte. You can see this is a megasporocyte. Now, in some cases, you will find the archisporial cell divides by a transfer division to form the parietal cell and the primary sporogenous cell. In that case, primary sporogenous cell behaves as the megaspore mother cell. Now, after the megaspore mother cell is formed, that is a diploid structure, then you know there must be a reduction division in the diploid structure to go to the gametophytic stage. So that division is meiosis. So the megaspore divides by 2, the total meiotic meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And every step there is cell wall formation. Now they say this is the megaspore mother cell and it has been divided first meiotic division, that is the reductional division, and there is cell wall formation. So it is called a dyad stage, right? Now again there is another meiosis 2, that is equational division, each cell having 2 equal division. Okay, so it form 4 tetrads, 4 megaspore tetrads, that is megaspore tetrads, and they are arranged in linear manner and each one is haploid. Clear? Because there is reduction in each haploid. So this is the common type of development. And the top 3 cells, that is towards the prime micropylar side, because the megaspore always develops towards the prime micropylar side. Now this last one, that is towards the basal side, remains functional. Other 3 perishes, degenerate, right? So they degenerate and it becomes a functional megaspore. But however, we find some deviation in the development of the megaspore due to variation in the in the cell wall formation of the megaspore during the megaspore development. Now let us see the how the different types of megaspores are formed. So the megaspores are different types according to the wall formation. Now let us see this one, the common type, where you'll find the meiosis 1 is there. From the meiosis 1 you'll find 2 nuclei formed, that is by reduction division, and there is cell wall formation. So at the end of every division there is cell wall formation in the common type. Now here you'll find meiosis 2, that is equal 2 nuclei formed each cell, then there is followed by cell wall formation, and you find the 4 cells are walled, and the first 3 cells, top 3 cells towards the micropyle, they degenerate, and the last one is uninucleate, and this develops to this is the functional megaspore. Sorry, yes, this is the functional megaspore. Clear? So this is called the mononucleate by uninucleate megaspore. But there is deviation, as I told. Now binucleate megaspore, how it is formed? You see, this is the division, just like the first one, meiosis 1, 2 nuclei are formed, 2 daughter nuclei. Now this is the wall formation. Then it undergoes meiosis 2, the equational division. So here 2 nuclei are formed in each daughter cell. But there is no division or cell wall formation. So as a result, you find each cell is binucleate. Each cell is binucleate, and you find this one, the upper binucleate megaspore cell degenerate, and the lower binucleate megaspore cell is the functional. So it is called binucleate megaspore. The first one was uninucleate megaspore. Now in the third type you will find there is no wall formation at all at the end of meiosis 1 or meiosis 2. The nucleus, the megaspore mother cell nucleus divides. First meiosis formed 2 nuclei. Then these 2 nucleus divide inside the same cytoplasm, forming 4 nuclei. So there is no wall formation. Therefore, the megaspore is 4 nucleate or tetranucleate megaspore. And accordingly, you'll find there will be megaspore, megagametophyte development. If the female gametophyte develops from the uninucleate megaspore, then it is called monosporic type. If it develops from a binucleate megaspore, it is called bisporic type. And if it develops from a tetranucleate megaspore, it is called tetrasporic type. Clear? So, we are concerned with the monosporic type of embryo sac or the female gametophyte. Female gametophyte is called embryo sac. I use the term embryo sac because the embryo develops in a sac-like structure. That means female gamete is a sac-like structure in which the embryo develops. So it is called embryo sac. Clear? So therefore, let us see how the development of megaspore occurs. The megaspore development is mainly occurs by the division mitosis. So mitotic division occurs. So it is a 3 sequence stage. One is mitotic division. There are 3 mitotic divisions here. And there is cellularization. A cell will be formed, not wall, cells will be formed, plasma will be formed around each nucleus, there is cellular organization, and there is differentiation, cellular differentiation. So therefore, this megaspore developing to an embryo sac is a sequential process. Now let us see how it happens. Now you see the diagram, I am making it zoom, you see, yes. Now you see this is the functional megaspore. The functional megaspore is monosporic is a monosporic type of development, so it is uninucleate. Right. Now it divides with first mitosis. So you'll find 2 nuclei, haploid, because megaspore is a haploid. Then you find this is the second mitosis. So you'll find 4 nuclei in the same cell. They are organized at the 2 poles. You see these 2 daughter nuclei which is from the first mitosis, they are repelled, means they are going to move to the 2 poles, that is micropolar end and the chelazal end, and a vacuole is developed inside. So they repel, and so this is first polarization occurs during the development of the plant. Now, you'll see the second mitosis occurs in the this one. This is second mitosis. So 4 nuclei are formed. Next is third mitosis. So 8 nuclei are formed. Each 4 nuclei are at one pole, that is micropolar, other 4 are the other pole, that is chelazal pole or chelazal end. Now after that there is rearrangement occurs. 3 plus 2 plus 3 arrangement. What is that? So 3 nuclei will remain towards the micropolar end, leaving 1 to the center. Similarly, from the chelazal end, 3 will remain at the chelazal end, 1 will move to the center. Those who move to the center, this is called the polar nucleus. This is called the polar nucleus, right? This is central, is called the polar nucleus. This is called the 3 micropolar nuclei and 3 chelazal nuclei. Now this nuclei now starts arrange means there will be cell formation. Thus, cytoplasm will organized and the wall will form. So you will find 8 cells, 8 nuclei here, but these two polar nuclei will fuse. Then they will form a cell. So that is called the secondary nucleus. But the nucleus will not fuse. This nuclei will remain together forming a cell around this, and after that they will fuse to form a secondary nucleus. Right, but there is a cellular organism. So at this stage you will find 7 cell structure but 8 nucleate state. So 3 cells at the micropolar end, 3 cells at the chalajal end, at the center 1 cell. So it is 7 cell. But the center has contained 2 nuclei. So it is called the 7 cell and 8 nucleate structure. Clear? So that is the formation of the megaspore or megagametophyte of the embryo sac. Now you see the matured embryo sac. So here this is the description how it is formed that I have already explained. Now it is the organization of the embryo sac. When it is full differentiated, now you will find the organization. So antipodals. So those nuclei or cells which remain towards the chelazal end, they form the antipodals. Each one is haploid, and the antipodals are ephemeral. After the fertilization, they degenerate. Now at the center you will find the secondary nucleus having 2N structure and single cell. That will be fertilized with the second male gamete. Okay, that is SBN. So secondary nucleus is fertilized with SBN, spawn associated with vegetative nucleus, that we have discussed in the video 2. Now the three cells that remains towards the micropolar, they form the egg apparatus. That is called the egg apparatus. The egg apparatus contains two components. One is synergids, two synergid cells, and one egg cell. The synergid cells at the micropolar end bear filiform apparatus. Those filiform are finger-like. They help in the movement of the pollen tube, and facilitate the movement of the sperm cell. Okay, and synergid cells also die out gradually. Okay, so the egg is protected here and is ready to be fertilized by the second male gamete, actually the sua. We have discussed in video lesson 2. That is sua, which fertilizes the fertilize the egg, syngamy, and the first one fertilizes the SVN, fertilizes the secondary nucleus that develops to the endosperm mother cell, from which endosperm will develop. So that we will discuss later. Clear? So now this is the organization of female gametophyte and how it develops. Now we will be discussing the questions now. Yes. So the components we have discussed already. Now let us do the questions. So we have read up to this the development of megaspore, different types of megaspores, and how it develops to the female gametophyte, and what is the organization of the female gametophyte, where the cell wall formation occurs, why it is binucleate, why it is tetranucleate. We have discussed. So now let us see the questions. Now you can pause the video and do your answer yourself. Now listen to my answer. Now the point of attachment of the funiculus with the ovule is called hilum. The extension of the funiculus over the ovule to certain extent is called raphe. The megaspore develops from the megaspore mother cell. Now the female gametophyte in flowering plant is also known as embryo sac. The egg in the female gametophyte is found towards the micropolar end because it is a component of the egg apparatus. A typical angiosperm embryo sac is 7 cell 8 nucleate. Now the megaspore mother cell is also known as megasporocyte. The cell which is directly converted to megaspore mother cell is called archisporial cell. Dash number of megaspore are involved in formation 28 seeds in typical angiosperm plant. It requires little explanation for you. 28 seeds means 28 fertilization, means 28 eggs, and one egg is formed from one megaspore during the development. So it requires 28 megaspore cells, right? Now the function of the two polar nuclei forms fusion of series. So fusion of the two polar nuclei forms the secondary nucleus. Clear? So you tally the answers with your answer. Now next is Find out the most appropriate answer from the choices given under each bit question. In angiosperms, the ovule is unitegmic, bilayer, unitegmic, trilayer, bitegmic, bilayer, bitegmic, trilayer. You see, this is not at all unitegmic. So first option 2 is rejected. That is for the gymnosperms. So last two option is two layered. So it is bitegmic, bilayered, right? Now, the cytokinesis leading to formation of a uninucleate megaspore occurs at the end of which division? At the end of meiosis 1 as well as at the end of meiosis 2. Otherwise, divisions will occur. So this is normal type. So at the end of meiosis 1 as well as at the end of meiosis 2, that is choice C. Now polygonum, yes, the polygonum type of embryo sac. What I have explained, that is the monosporic type, that is polygonum type. This was discovered by Strasberg in 1879. So that is called polygonum type of embryo sac. So that is there in the description. So the polygonum type of embryo sac develops from a monosporic megaspore. Mononucleate, monosporic megaspore, yes, the monospore, that gives the monosporic type. Now, filiform apparatus is associated with, you see it is written antipodals, no, egg cells, no, it is associated with the synergid cells, that is the C. Which of the following is different from the others? So you see what is the nuclear status? Nucellus is 2n, integument is 2n, megaspore is megasporocyte. So megasporocyte is 2n and the polar nucleus is n haploid. So this is different. Polar nucleus. The answer is polar nucleus. Now this is a very tricky question. If the number of chromosomes in the secondary nucleus of an embryo sac is 30, then what is the number of chromosome in the nucleus of the concerned megasporangium? So megasporangium is a 2n structure. Now the secondary nucleus is a 2n structure. So their number is same. So it is 30 means here it is also 30. Now coming to the last one. Suppose the coconut tree has the egg in its embryo sac with chromosome number 10. So egg is 10, that is haploid, because egg is haploid. Now then, what will be the number of chromosome in the endosperm of the coconut born on that tree? The endosperm is formed by the union of the secondary nucleus, which is 2n, with the gamete, which is n. So it is a 3n structure. So you know the answer now. N is 10 means it is 30. So that is the answer. Okay, so you must understand what is the endosperm status. Now next is the third one. The correct the statement without changing the underlined word if necessary. So egg apparatus underlined contains one synergid cell and one egg cell and one antipodal cell. Egg apparatus contains two synergid cells and one egg cell. So you need not write the antipodals, you just correct it. Antipodal cells remain towards the micropolar end of the embryo sac. The egg apparatus remains towards the micropolar end of the embryo sac. Orthotropous ovule is common among the angiosperms. Orthotropous is common in the gymnosperms. Secondary nucleus is a typical angiospermic embryo sac is formed by the fusion of one antipodal cell and one sperm cell and one polar nucleus. No, this is formed by fusion of two polar nuclei. Now, filiform apparatus is found at the chalazal end of the embryo sac. Filiform apparatus is found at the micropolar end of the embryo sac, which is a component of the egg apparatus. Now, give very short answer to the following questions in one or two lines. Oh, what is a megasporangium? Megasporangium structures in which megaspore is formed and present. Okay, or is formed. Why variation occur in the number of nuclei of the megaspore? Because of the differential occurrence of cytokinesis or cell wall formation. If it occurs at the two stages, at the end of meiosis 1 and in the end of meiosis 2, you will find monosporic or uninucleate type megaspore. If it occurs only at the end of meiosis 1, then you will find binucleate. And if it does not occur at all, either at the meiosis 1 or meiosis 2, the megaspore is tetranucleate. Okay. So this is so there is a variation due to variation in the cell wall formation at the end of meiosis 1 or meiosis 2. That is the reason. What is perisperm? Yes, perisperm is a thin layer of nucellus which remains around the embryo sac after the nucellus nutrient is exhausted during development. So the remnant of the nucellus is called perispore. In some cases is found, not in all cases. Why the typical embryo sac is not 8-celled? 8-celled, why not? Because fusion of the two nuclei, polar nuclei. So they form one cell. So the egg apparatus is 3-celled. Antipolar is 3-celled. And two polar nuclei they have united to form a single cell. So that is, therefore it is 7. Due to fusion, answer is due to fusion of the polar nuclei to form a single cell, secondary nucleus. Right. So we have discussed all the types of questions that you will face in your board exam or in the entrance exam. Maybe same pattern, maybe variation will be there. This type of questions generally comes. Okay, I think you have understood these things. What is the Megasporangium? What is Megaspore? How the Megasporogenesis occurs? And what is the organization of the female gamete part of the embryo sac? And what are the different types of questions that will come. So now I hope you remember the topic I have discussed, and if you like, you can subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe also, and attend the video lessons from this group, from this channel. Okay, thank you. Let us see you in the next video, our video session 4. Okay, thank you.